They say the person who hurts you the most is usually the one who promised they never would. I used to think that was just something people said after heartbreak, a dramatic quote meant to sound deep. I didn't believe it, not for 6 years. For 6 years, I lived inside a lie so carefully constructed that I helped protect it. I defended it, I built my future inside it, and the worst part. I was happy there, or at least I thought I was. I met her when I was 23, she was 22, young enough to believe love was invincible, old enough to dream about forever. She had this light about her, the kind that made ordinary days feel meaningful. When she laughed, it felt like the world softened. When she looked at me, I felt chosen. She wasn't just my girlfriend. She was my first real love, the kind of love that changes how you see everything. The kind that makes you believe loyalty is automatic, betrayal is impossible, and promises actually mean something. Before her I had plans, after her I had certainty. I didn't just love her, I structured my entire life around her. We moved in together, 3 years under the same roof, shared routines. Shared bills, shared silence and laughter. Then came the engagement, 1 year of rings, planning, and talking about the rest of our lives like it was already written. Kids' names, wedding dates. Where we'd live when we were older. I remember lying next to her at night thinking, this is it, I made it, I found my person. And when people talk about love, they always talk about passion, fire, obsession, but what no one warns you about is how dangerous comfort can be, how easy it is to stop questioning once someone becomes familiar, once trust becomes habit. So when things slowly started to change, I ignored it. The conversations became shorter, the laughter came less often, the affection felt scheduled, but I told myself this was normal. Every long-term relationship goes through it, right? Love isn't always exciting. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's just two people choosing each other every day. I chose her. Every single day, I thought we were just in a slump. I thought we'd find our way back. I believed love was about patience, understanding, and not panicking when things didn't feel perfect. What I didn't realize was that this wasn't a slump, it was an ending. Looking back now, the warning signs feel painfully obvious, late nights that didn't add up. The phone that never left her hand but was always turned face down when I walked into the room, the sudden need for space, the emotional distance I couldn't explain, but trust is a powerful thing. And blind trust is even worse. I never checked her phone, never asked for passwords, never accused her of anything. Because in my mind, accusing her would mean I didn't trust her, and I trusted her with my life. The thought that she could betray me felt insulting to even consider. This was the woman I wanted to marry. The woman I pictured holding my future children, the woman I defended when others doubted her. I couldn't imagine her hurting me like that. And that's the most dangerous belief you can have, because betrayal doesn't come from enemies, it comes from the person who knows exactly how to destroy you. Everything changed on a random Tuesday. Not an anniversary, not a fight, not a dramatic argument, just a normal Tuesday. I finished work early that day, something I almost never did. I remember feeling strangely light. On impulse, I decided to go home. I even picked up food, thinking maybe we'd eat together, talk, reconnect. Maybe this would be the moment where we finally found our way back to each other. I was excited. I didn't know that excitement was about to become the last good feeling I'd have for a long time. When I pulled into the driveway and saw her car already there, my heart actually lifted. I smiled. I thought, perfect timing. I imagined surprising her, wrapping my arms around her, reminding us of what we used to be. I unlocked the door quietly, and the moment I stepped inside, something felt wrong. I can't explain it logically. There was no sound, no obvious sign, just this heavy pressure in the air like the house itself was warning me to leave. I took one step forward, and then I looked down. That's when everything began to fall apart. I wish I could tell you I turned around. I wish I could say I listened to that instinct screaming at me to leave, but I didn't. I looked down and my stomach dropped. Clothes, not mine, a shirt I had never seen before, jeans that didn't belong in our house. Shoes placed carelessly near the stairs, shoes I knew for a fact I had never owned. They were scattered like someone had been in a hurry, like someone didn't care who might see. My brain tried to protect me. There has to be an explanation, I told myself. Don't jump to conclusions, don't be dramatic, but my body already knew the truth. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears, not fast, violent, like it was trying to break out of my chest before my mind caught up. My hands began to shake. My legs felt weak, like they might give out at any second. I stood there for a moment, frozen, staring at those clothes on the floor, knowing that every step forward was going to change my life forever. I took the first step anyway. Each stair felt heavier than the last. My breathing became shallow, controlled, like I was bracing for impact. Halfway up the stairs, I heard it, a sound I will never forget. At first, my brain refused to identify it. It tried to label it as something else, music, a video, background noise. Anything except what it really was, but I knew. I had shared that bedroom for years. I knew those sounds, I knew that rhythm, and suddenly every doubt I had ever ignored came rushing back all at once. The bedroom door was slightly open, just enough. Light spilled into the hallway like a cruel invitation. My hand reached out without permission from my mind. I pushed the door open slowly, carefully, like I was afraid the truth would attack me if I moved too fast, and then I saw it. I saw her, my fiancée, the woman I trusted with my future. The woman who wore my ring, she was there with another man. I won't describe every detail. I don't need to, because the image burned itself into my brain permanently. I stood there, completely invisible to them, watching the life I had built collapse in real time. They didn't see me, they didn't hear me, they were too lost in the betrayal. Time stopped. Or maybe it exploded, I don't know. 10 seconds passed, but in those 10 seconds my entire past replayed in my head. Every memory, every promise, every time I defended her, every plan we made, gone. I expected rage, I expected to scream, to throw a punch, to lose control. None of that happened. What I felt was worse, nothing, pure shock. My body went numb. My mind disconnected from reality like it was pulling the emergency brake to save me from dying on the spot. I quietly stepped back, closed the door, walked down the stairs, out the front door. No confrontation, no drama, no words. I got into my car and drove. I don't remember where I went. I don't remember how long I drove. I just remember pulling into an empty parking lot, gripping the steering wheel and completely breaking apart. I cried until my chest hurt, until my face felt swollen. Until my throat burned and no sound came out anymore. I didn't just lose my relationship that day, I lost my sense of reality. When I finally returned home that evening, the house felt like a crime scene. Everything looked the same, but none of it belonged to me anymore. She was there, waiting. And she acted like nothing had happened. She smiled, she asked about my day, she looked me in the eyes with the same face that had betrayed me hours earlier. That's when something inside me went cold. I realized I wasn't dealing with guilt, I was dealing with someone capable of lying straight to my face without flinching. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't accuse her. I just said 4 words, I want to break up. Her reaction was instant, tears, panic, desperation. She collapsed into sobs, asking what she had done wrong, begging me to explain, clinging to the hope that this was just a phase I could be talked out of. I said nothing. Because if I spoke, I would never stop, and silence was the only power I had left. I didn't argue with her, I didn't accuse her, I didn't give her the satisfaction of watching me break. I just looked at her and told her she had 1 week to pack her things and leave. The house was in my name, a detail I had never thought about until that moment. A detail that suddenly felt like the only thing standing between me and complete ruin. I didn't yell, I didn't explain. I walked past her tears, grabbed a bag and left. That was it, no goodbye. No closure conversation, no second chances. I blocked her number, I blocked her on every platform. I vanished from her life like I had never existed. And for the first time since that Tuesday, I felt like I could breathe, but silence comes with a cost. For weeks I lived inside a fog, I barely slept, barely ate. Every quiet moment was haunted by images I couldn't erase. The house felt empty, even when I wasn't there. The future I had planned felt like a cruel joke. And while I was drowning quietly, she was rewriting the story. Her friends and family didn't know the truth. All they saw was a man who suddenly abandoned his fiancée during a rough patch. Messages started coming in, angry ones, hurt ones, accusations, coward, monster, heartless. I read them all. And I said nothing. I let the world believe I was the villain because I didn't want a public war. I didn't want drama, I wanted peace, I wanted distance, I wanted to survive. The hardest part wasn't the insults, it was her parents. For 6 years they had treated me like a son, holidays, birthdays, family dinners. Suddenly I was gone and they didn't understand why. They reached out again and again, confused and hurt, asking what they had done wrong. I ignored them, not because I hated them, but because I wasn't ready to destroy their image of their daughter. Then Em reached out, her best friend. Over the years, Em and I had grown close. She knew our relationship, she knew our struggles, and more importantly, she knew the truth. She had known about the affair and the guilt had been eating her alive. When we finally talked, she broke down. When I told her what I had seen with my own eyes, the weight crushed her. That night, two people broken by the same betrayal crossed a line neither of us planned. When my ex found out, everything exploded. The friend group didn't split, it evaporated. She lost her best friend, she lost her social circle, she lost the image she had carefully built. And finally, I told her parents. I wrote them a handwritten letter, I didn't hold back. I explained everything, the betrayal, the silence, the pain. I told them how much I had loved them and why I couldn't be part of a family where deception was ignored. Their response came a week later. They believed me, they were devastated, ashamed, heartbroken. They told me they had always seen me as the man their daughter should have married. They wished me peace and then they stepped back from her. That was the moment I realized something important. I didn't destroy her life. The truth did. 7 months later, I heard she's struggling. Therapy, isolation, regret, the future she imagined after me never materialized. People ask me if I feel guilty. I don't feel anger, I don't feel satisfaction, I don't feel regret. I feel clarity, I didn't get revenge, I got my life back, I didn't lose my forever, I escaped a lie. And today I'm finally happy, not because she suffered but because I survived.